Hey guys, let's do a quick review on these Hayes Dominion A4s and these 220mm rotors. Man, it's hot today, 32 degrees Celsius. I am cooking, and it's time to do a parts review. As usual, if you find this useful, please consider like, subscribe. I really appreciate it. Hayes Dominion A4s. Hayes did a full redesign like 3 years ago. They used to be the king in brakes to make these top-of-the-line Enduro brakes. They make them in 2-piston, 4-piston. I've been buying everything from Germany lately. The Germans have the best parts prices this side of the Reich. And these things cost the same as pretty much any brake you buy in North America. I did a lot of research on them, but there's not a ton of reviews. What are these things like? We got a pretty big pad in there. It's about as big as a Shimano Saint. I've got the sintered metallics in there. I did a pretty good bleed on them. They're not hard to bleed. They use dot fluid, but dot fluid has a really high boiling point. I actually put dot 3 in here, even though they say 5.1, but 5.1 costs a fortune, and I got a bucket of dot 3 for cars. So far, I haven't faded them. Done some pretty big stuff. These levers, pretty nice. There's no cam action in here, so these are direct one-to-one. Piston goes in. There's no ramp-up cam. Like I said, a Saints or XTs or Code RSCs, Swing Link, which amplify the effect. These are 1-to-1 ratio. They got all these ball bearings in here and super smooth seals, easy one-touch adjustment on there. These are the short finger levers. That's all I can get. What are they like? And again, these are on 220 rotors compared to Saints, XTs, Code RSCs. They're good, but they're not like the ultimate in power. I ride real steep stuff. You know, I weigh 200 plus with gear on to the 36-pound bike. I use a lot of brakes. I'm not like the fastest off the brake guy, so sometimes you need brakes, and I don't like putting a huge amount of pressure in. Shimano Saints, they're the ultimate in power. With 200s on there, you're like half stroke on that thing is dead stop. But the modulation isn't as good, and the pull pressure on it is a little high. These things, very, very, very light effort. That's their claim to fame. Very light effort on there. The mid-stroke is very linear through the whole stroke. The ultimate power on there, I don't think, is as good as Saints and Z's, but the modulation is very, very good. It's very, very smooth in the modulation as you come into the power. The ultimate power is certainly there. The modulation allows you to ride faster. You do less lockups, although I found the Saints pretty good. XTs are like total on-off. You use them, but they're pretty jabby. Code RSCs are pretty similar to these. They have a higher effort initially, but pretty similar in the linearity. I don't know, you know, they build mountain bike brakes to keep people safe, I guess, keep them from shooting over the bars, but I could use more powerful brakes. Saints are, I think, like almost the minimum that I should have. The 220 rotors help keep the Saints in the power band. Now, 220 rotors, saying these are crazy, why it's so big, you don't need 220 rotors, not so bananas, but I tell you that I do. When you read a lot of reviews about how big rotors are, some guys who are 160 pounds, you know, and their fitness machines are like, you don't need anything bigger than 200. I agree. When you're lighter weight like that, you don't need it. But when you are bigger, you use these. Every 20 millimeters you go up is about a 17% increase in power, and that's a big deal. It also increases your modulation efficiency, and, you know, you get a bit more cooling on there and fade resistance if that ever is an issue for you. I've only faded brakes one time in the longest downhill run in the galaxy, but there's no real disadvantage. I got 220 adapters on there. The rotors are a little expensive right now. They're quite a bit more. They're like double what a 203 is. But I think they're great. They only weigh 18 grams more a piece. Who cares? E-bike guys, we've been using 220s for a while because I got a lot of weight to deal with in the belly. No, I mean in the bicycle. No, I'm nothing against e-bike people. But I think 220 rotors are great. It's a no-brainer. They're going to be OEM on bikes real soon, I'm sure. There's no disadvantage, and 240s are next. I don't know. You know, it's the same thing with gearing. People think, oh, all you need is, you know, a super low cadence going up hills. But ask roadies. They've been using high cadence forever. And it's a big improvement in efficiency when you're climbing. And having big rotors totally works. These are also a bit thicker, a little more heat dissipation. But the Dominions, they're a good brake. Are they a great brake? I don't know. You know, they're pretty good. The Saints, for power, man, those are great brakes. They were great brakes. And you can buy Chinese sintered metallic pads for $5 for them, which you can't for the Hayes. Anyways, I do like the very light effort. I'm just getting used to them. I enjoy the modulation. I think it's, on wet tracks and stuff, it's nicer to have modulation like Codes. But, man, for power, I think the Saints with a swing cam in there, they got you beat. Anyways, I haven't seen a lot of reviews on this stuff, so I'm putting it out there. What's your experience? What do you think? 220 rotors too big? What do you want, 260s? I'm with you. Let's do it. See you in the next one.